You could manually receive products from a purchase order, but what if you get a partial shipment? Then you are requiring employees to do subtraction on the PO and adding to the inventory, and that involves math. And not that people can't do math, but it's easy to make a mistake. This procedure is really best handled using a script to cut down on the mistakes. So we're going to start off with receiving products. So to do that, we need to go into our P lines and add in a field for how many we have received. So go to P lines, we'll put quantity received, spell that correctly. That'll be a number field. And then we'll say quantity outstanding. That'll be a calculation field. That'll be quantity minus quantity received plus 0. So we get that 0 showing up, and do not evaluate if all fields are empty. We don't want that. So that should do what we need there. We're going to move this payments over enough to fit all that stuff. Drag this wider. Move this all the way over. Get about the same spot as the other one. That looks eyeballs pretty good. Take our quantity field, duplicate it. There we go. We'll put received, and that'll be quantity received, which we're not going to allow them to enter into that field. And then we'll put outstanding. And got a little bit too long here. Make it bigger. There we go. Come in here and find out the height, which is 16. Want to be the same height here. And I think I'm going to move this just a little bit over like that, so it's not too close. That looks pretty good. Move this stuff back a little bit. And I'm pretty happy with that. Make sure this is the quantity outstanding. Good. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So outstanding is 1. So we can start here with our conditional formatting. We'll say turn it red if, and we'll just refer to that field just so if we change that field, it'll update the formula. So P lines, purchases. Oops, got to highlight that. Quantity outstanding is greater than 0. That should turn that red so you can see it really nicely. And as soon as we get received in there, put a 1 in there, turns to 0, you should be good. Okay. So let's put in a script to make it easy to receive this information or these products one at a time. Each one can be received. So I think I'm going to put it right inside the line item here because otherwise they won't know which one they're clicking on. So we'll again make this a little bit bigger. Make that wider. Move that over just a slight bit. Duplicate this one. Call it receive on the tooltip. Double click on it and see what we've got here as far as an icon. And we could go and find one online and convert it into SVG, but I think we can find one that's good enough here. Use this little shopping cart, I think works well. There we go. So we're going to attach a script to that. Make sure that's not too close. That's right about right where it should be. I think that's good. Okay, so let's make our script. Should be fairly simple. That's going to get more complicated as we need to add to inventory. So purchase, order, or just, I think we've been saying purchases so far. Receive 1. Put in our perform scripts because we don't want people canceling these. So we're going to put in our allow user port and our set error capture. And we're going to show a custom dialog. Enter amount. Enter the amount of, and I think it's important to put in the name of the product here. So we'll go into the specify calculation, concatenate it with, and put the quote function. Right in there, we'll put in that field for products purchases. I believe this is the right one. We'll find out. Name. Okay, did I get 2 spaces there? Let's see. Nope, just 1. Good. And then put our input field, which will be a variable, $ received. Amount. Okay, it looks good. And let's see, do we put a cancel in there? Good, we have a cancel in there. If get last message choice equals 1, then we're going to do that, which is set the field because we'll be selected on that line already. So we're just going to set that receive field to plines purchases, quantity received, set it to itself because we might receive several partial shipments. So we're going to say plines purchases, quantity received plus $ received. That should be all we need. Let's see how it works. That should be down at the bottom, I believe. Yep, there it is. Don't need the parameter. Click OK. Go to Browse. And let's see what happens. Good, we put a 1 in there. And you see that works pretty well. Now, when they're all received, we probably want to make this button disappear. So pretty simple to do. Just come over here to our hide object. Say or plines preferences quantity outstanding equals 0. That should make that disappear. Good. So that we can't accidentally receive more. Now somebody could put more in than they received, and do we handle that? If they put in 2 instead of 1, what do we do? Well, it's going to put -1 on the outstanding. So that's probably something that won't happen very often. I guess we could put in some conditions there, but that's something that a manager or administrator would have to come in and fix. You could put all kinds of conditions in there. And, let's keep it simple for right now, because I don't think we necessarily need that. So that looks pretty good. Now what we want to add to it is somewhat of a inventory leveling feature, that it levels the inventory over in products when we do this. It adds to the inventory. So let's take a look at that products. And we'll get something that can have that added to it. So inventory is down here. I don't think we have anything with inventory. We do have one here, but let's go to the blank one, the super widget. I think that's in fact what we added here. So what we need in here is probably on the inventory is in addition to the date, the amount, and the notes, is what PO this came from. So you can backtrack it back to it. Not just adding in how much you got, but adding in, where it came from so you can backtrack it. So we'll make this field, this portal a little bit bigger. Move this stuff over. And we'll put in purchase order. So in inventory, which is inventory right there, put in KF underscore purchases ID. Text field, good. Go into inventory. Actually, we're going to go into inventory products because that's where we're going to be displaying. We don't have no reason to add it to inventory yet, which is way down here. We don't need to add it to this because we have no use. We might add it later, but we don't have any use right now. We want to go to products, which is where we're going to be using it, and add it in there. So let's see if we can make some more room. I'm going to select all, move everything down, then move these things. This is kind of near the top. Move that up a bit. That seemed to be the easiest way to get some room there. And let's see. So we'll come over here to inventory products, add in purchases underscore products. There it is right there. Add it right in there. So now they're connected. Move that up just a bit. Could double click on that. Inventory products. And we're going to put in our KF purchase ID. I think that's enough room for it, but I made a little bit more room because I'm going to put in a button here. Let's see how much space we have going in between these. Okay, we have a little bit more space here. That looks good for right now. And let's change that name here first. Purchase order. Single step. GTRR. And purchases products with purchases. Show a new window. Do the stuff we've been doing before. Get window top plus 30. Get window left plus 30. All these are good except for that one. There we go. Don't need to worry about showing only the relayed record. Click OK, click OK. So now we have that connected. We need a better button though, which is our standard button is the arrow. There we go. I think we're pretty good. Let's see how it's anchored. These are all anchored to the left. Okay, so let's move this back here. And then make this a bit smaller. Okay, so we have no inventory here. I'm going to come back here and do this one, delete it. And then before we add it again, we're going to look at our script and say if we do this, then we're going to say, and there's a couple ways to do this, but I think the best way is just the simplest, most straightforward way, which is to do a new window. And we'll go to our layout inventory. Before we do that, grab our, in a set variable, grab our purchase, our order number. There it is. So we can connect it. We already have the amount received in here in the $ received. So we have everything we need. Go to that layout, then new record. And I usually do the set field for the ID first, just because that's the order I do it in. It makes it easier to read. You're used to reading it that way. Go to inventory. Notice that we're in inventory, not inventory purchases now. We did a, you know, we when we were working in that other layout, we were there, but now we're just working with the straight inventory table. So we're going to say KF purchases ID. And I forgot to get one thing, but we'll get that in a second. $ID, I think, in here. Good. And we forgot to get our product ID. So we'll call this one, let's call this one ID, call this PID. And that's P lines purchases. There we go. So I've got both those variables in there. And so now we can do the set field of what that inventory belongs to, okay, products ID to PID. Then we can finally add in what we want, which is amount, $ received. And I believe that in inventory, we decide to let that date field be a creation date, so it should all be in there. So this should be all we need. We just need a closed window. That looks pretty good. We don't necessarily really need a freeze window here. You could put one in, but I don't think we need it necessarily. Okay, so if we go ahead and put in a super widget, say we need 2 of them, right? And then we receive 1 of them. And then come over here. Do we still have that? Yeah, we still have that window open. Hopefully we should have that in there, and we can go and click on that. And we went to the wrong place. That's why we test stuff. Purchases products. Oh, got the wrong layout. Okay, should work better now. Good, and we're right back to that, so we can, if we have any issues, we can take a look at where it came from. So I don't think there's anything else we need to do. I think that's done pretty well there. If we come back here and receive another one, the button disappears. We go in and look at the product. You can see that we got them both on the same date. We just did them at separate times. And what we didn't do is increase our inventory, though. That's the problem. Let's delete these 2. Let's not worry about that. We'll just add more into there. Okay, so we'll put another super widget in, put 1 in there, and now we need to add to our script when we receive that. So let's see. So we're going to put another set field here, but it's got to be a different layout. We're going to go to products, and we're going to have to enter find mode. Do a set field to products, $PID. No error checking because we know it's going to find it. And then do our set field. In products for our inventory field to inventory. Oops, not in products yet. Inventory plus $ received. Okay, I think we got the whole thing handled. Let's see if it works now. So if I remember when we look at that, let's go ahead and look at it right quick. 94, so it should go to 95 now. Receive it, 1. And what, we didn't do the find? I thought we had done that. Let's cancel that. Oh, it's on pause. Really wish that's not the, oh, it's perform find. I put enter find mode. Whoosh. Haven't done that in a while. There we go. Okay, now it should work. Now we're going to add another super widget. Receive it, 1. Nothing appears to happen except we do know that if we come over here and check it out, we have 95 now. We have all of our receptions. So We're going to get even more complex in the next video where we want to receive all of the items. Because sometimes you don't receive them one by one. Maybe you just get the whole order and go, boom, I want to receive all of them. So we need some type of looping or replace script to do this. It's just a little bit more complicated, but we'll handle that in the next video.